Miti Joshi. We at Novel are extremely happy to have you with us. And just a brief introduction before we hop into our interview. So, Miti Joshi is right now currently working as a business analyst at McKinsey and Company. She has done her post graduation from University of Pennsylvania in biotechnology, and we are extremely happy to have you here. Personally, I am very much motivated to be taking your interview because you're just 22 and you're already working at McKinsey and Company.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, thank you for that. Really nice and warm welcome. So I think you hit all of my points. So I basically did my undergrad back in India, where I did a bachelor's in life sciences, and it was a very research-heavy degree, so I didn't particularly enjoy it. That's why I looked at masters in other fields. So I finished my undergrad in India in like it was an Indian degree, right? So it's just 3 years. So I finished it pretty early, or earlier compared to US colleges. And then I applied to a couple of colleges in the US for my master's, mainly in the field of biotech and like health informatics. But I definitely did want to take something that wasn't like strictly research because I didn't want to stay in that. So that's how I ended up coming to Penn. And then 2 years later, I'm now working at McKinsey after like recruiting and then being very interested in consulting.
Yeah, right. So, how has it been overall for you? Like right from you being in India, then going to Penn, a complete, change of atmosphere, people, entire country, like everything for that
Yeah.
say. So, how has it been?
I actually really liked the experience. Obviously, COVID-19 made things a bit complicated, but yeah, I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed my time at Penn. I met some really, really good people. It was difficult. The ups and downs are like there in every journey. So, but yeah, I really enjoyed it. Would recommend it to everybody. I think getting out and like actually experiencing a whole new thing is really important for anyone's personal development.
Got it.
So yeah, so I thoroughly enjoyed it. I wouldn't probably have it any other way. And yeah, I think it was a great experience. There's so many aspects of it that I can talk about, but that'll take me like all day. So
Right, right. No, makes sense, makes sense. So, the first question, uh, when did you decide to get into consulting and what was the major reason behind it? Like, one you just spoke of, the research part back in India, but by consulting as the main forte.
yeah, for sure. So what I did was once I started undergrad, I also did like a small series of internships every summer,
Okay.
where one time I interned at a small family office in the cotton industry. And like I thought that this is cool, like this is more on the business side of things, which is great. Then I interned at a stem cells company back in India itself, and that internship was divided in two parts. So one was a more like lab based, like
Right,
blood typing and all the basic bio stuff. And then the other side of it was being on the business end of things, like
right,
actually being on the field, going to patients, seeing how the reports are done, like a little bit more administrative, but not lab work, but still related to science. And
right.
also on the front end of it. That's why I said like on the business side of things. So
Got
I
it.
ended up liking the business side of things a lot more than I ended up liking the lab side of things.
Hmm.
So then after like a trial and error series of internships, I ended up trying out consulting as an internship because you don't particularly need any type of background in consulting. Like
True, true.
in banking, you need like a finance background for CA and stuff. So like consulting didn't really have a hard and fast requirement as such. They pretty much take anyone and train you.
All right.
So I ended up applying to ENY. I got it. We had a friend there who helped us out too. So I ended up working at ENY in India for 2 months. And
Got
at
it.
that phase, I ended up really liking consulting. And then I'm like, okay, this is what I want to do, at least for the near future.
Right.
So I guess it was like a series of like trial and error of internships, which I 100% recommend doing because like that's like a pretty fail safe way. Like if you don't like it, you just have to do it for a month. And if you love it, you can like do it for
Right,
all your
that's
life.
true.
So
That's true. And I think so undergrad is the time when you should get yourself involved so that again as you mentioned you get to know that in the near future at least what can be your goal. So I completely agree to what
yeah.
you said. Right, true.
Yeah.
And what sort of preparation did you do for this journey, particularly, be it entrance or be it any sort of scholarship or something for that sake?
So I think Penn didn't have any scholarships, so like we can
Okay.
get that out of the way. I have no idea about how that is,
Right.
but there are
Okay.
definitely scholarships and resources out there for other people. Um, Preparation for pen was like your pretty much standard checklist, your GRE, your GPA has to be pretty high. So like that has to be done from the first year of undergrad. It can't be like you
All
can't
right.
just turn it overnight. It has to be pretty standard. So your GRE, then TOEFL was pretty easy. Like I'm pretty sure anyone
Yeah.
would be able to nail it. What else? Your GRE, TOEFL, essays, SOP. I didn't have an essay. I had a statement of purpose, which was like a very short essay. It had to be really concise and like deliver everything that
Right.
they
Right.
want to
True.
know. So it was a little bit more difficult than an essay, but like Novel helped me out a lot on that. So that was amazing.
Yeah.
And then letters of recommendations. For letters of recommendation, I think an advice that I would give is like, yeah, like just be nice to your teachers or like don't or like be a little bit low key. Don't get
Right.
into it.
Right. Right.
So that was my prep for pen. And then after
Yeah.
that, there's about consulting that came all together.
Got it. Got it. And did you use any particular resources for the same? Like,
For GRE, I did take classes. So I went to this professor called Mitul Gada at Kebs Corner.
okay.
He was really good. I really enjoyed it. I wish I focused on verbal more because it seems like verbal is easy, but I think you do need to practice, and I didn't. I focused a lot on math. So
Right.
definitely, like, don't make the mistake that I did and focus a lot more on verbal. Then for TOEFL, I really didn't do anything
Okay.
special. And I think GRE and TOEFL are the main two exams that you have to give. But preparation as such, I also had a lot of extracurriculars going on for me at undergrad. So like that really rounded up my profile. I had like leadership positions. I did like, some amount of non-profit work or like charity work as well. So like that
Got
really
it.
adds kind of completes your profile as a whole. So like basically don't only stick to academics and like getting good scores, like that's important for sure, but also like develop on the extracurricular side or develop
Right.
new interests, like do something else that makes you.
That's true. That's true. So again, like maybe just a follow up question to this, how did you manage your academics, extracurriculars, job applications, all of this together?
Yeah, for sure. So what I did was I compartmentalized it. So in my
Okay.
first year of undergrad, I like really, try to set my foundation on extracurriculars because then in second and third year, I could easily go for leadership positions rather than doing it the other way around. So
Right.
then at that time, I wasn't really like, I'd finished an internship, then the whole year was left. So I focused a lot on academics and extracurriculars. Then in my second year, I don't think I interned in my second year, to be honest. Yeah, I took a break.
Okay.
So in my second year, I was still like building up my extracurriculars and my academics and like making sure that that was solid for 2 years. In my third year, I started interning, and that's when I dropped my extracurriculars. So I didn't
Okay.
end up doing too many in my third year. I just like kept it pretty basic. Was part of maybe one club on campus, and
Right.
that's about it. And then I focused on academics and like not job apps, but my internship as well as applying for colleges.
Understood, understood. And like this is a like recommendation from your end. So basically, for your abroad overseas education, do is it necessary for you to have a good GPA score right from your first year of undergrad, like from your very first semester for that say?
Yes and no, because yes, because it's very difficult. Like if you get something like you might, if you're talking on a 10 point scale, if you get something like 8.8, it's
Yeah,
easily recoverable. But if you get something like six, and then
yeah,
like you
that's
take
true.
6 and 6 and then 7, and then 3 semesters have gone, and then you have only how many left? You don't
Right.
have those. You have 3 more semesters left to bring it up to like a 9.5, which is going to be very difficult. You have to
No,
get 10
true.
pointers all the time. So like if you keep it like kind of consistent, you can make errors here and then wouldn't affect it so much.
Right. So basically, just maintain your scores well, but do extra stuff as well.
Yeah.
Got it. Understood.
Yeah.
And so basically, coming back to consulting for McKinsey, so of course, networking plays a very important role when it comes to consulting. So you might have spoken to a
Yeah.
few of your peers and other campus students. So how was it for you? Like, how did you gel up with them? What all did you speak of? How was their experience for that matter?
Yeah, for sure. So I didn't speak to any other students about recruiting because I
Okay.
mean they have the same exact resources as I did, and we had a whole career services, and they're like these casing. So basically, in consulting, you have case interviews, which is
Okay.
they give you a small business problem and you have to solve it. So they have like the same resources to like crack case interviews and stuff. who I did network with and I networked a lot was alumni who worked at those companies.
True.
So I would reach out to them via email or like via LinkedIn, see if someone could connect me to them. And then after that, I would like request for like a 15-minute phone call, try to understand their experience of working with the firm and, why did they go into consulting, try to look for like a little bit of inspiration as well.
Right, right.
So before hopping on any type of networking call, I would definitely recommend research a lot about that person. Go on their LinkedIn, go on Google, see any articles that they've written, go on their company web page, everything. Also see like like have a small like not quote unquote elevator pitch about you ready, which is
Right.
basically like a 30-second or a 60-second introduction of who you are and why you're interested in consulting. It has to be super quick so that they have an idea of who they are speaking with.
True.
And then just have a list of questions ready. Make sure those 15 minutes are really busy. You don't want to waste their time.
Right.
And if the conversation goes well, it can always go about 15 to 20 minutes. It can be really good. And sometimes they do they can like offer to recommend you to the firm, which is like the best case opportunity.
For sure, correct. And so when it comes to McKinsey, did you apply in any other company, and how did you crack the McKinsey interview? Because I think so that is the main thing in the end, of course.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. So I did apply. I applied to around, so this was, so I can start with my internship journey because then that'll make more sense as to
Yeah,
why my
true.
full-time recruitment was the way it was. So I did, so when I came to Penn, internship season was like right there. I landed August end and internship interviews were on first week September. So I was totally
Okay.
unprepared for that.
Okay.
So I didn't like apply to any of the big firms for internships because I had no idea what was happening. And then in Jan and Feb, I started applying to all these healthcare consulting internships from smaller companies. And I
Hmm.
ended up getting an offer in January, which is kind of late for recruiting,
Okay.
um, but yeah, so I interned at this firm called Charles River Associates. They're not small by any chance. They're like a pretty established firm in the US, UK, Canada.
True.
Yeah, these three places for sure.
True.
And so I interned with them. And then usually after you finish an internship, you get a return offer. Basically, they
Right.
want you to come back as a full-time employee. So as I interned with them, I got a return offer from them in September, which is why I limited applying to a lot of companies. So my experience is
Right.
very different from what anyone else's experience would be. Usually people apply to like 30, 40 companies. I
True.
applied to
True.
like
Yeah.
only 10, out of which
Okay.
those 10 I applied to was before I got my return offer. After I got my return offer, I stopped applying.
Got it.
So, so I applied to 10 companies or like 13 companies. I got interviewed by almost all of them except for two. And the way I prepped for it was before my big case interviews, I like really started casing. So, doing these business problems, maths and qualitative thinking, quantitative thinking. Or the case interview section is like a whole different talk altogether.
All
And
right.
then you also have to be like rock solid on your resume. You have to be like rock solid on your personal experience story because they do want to see what your personality is like. They want to see
True.
how you handle conflict and stuff like that. So you have to like have those stories very ready to go when they ask you that, oh, tell me about a time that you would resolve any conflict with the team. You have to like have that very well structured and make sure that they understand even though they weren't there at that situation.
Yeah.
So that requires a lot of practice. So three main things: one is resume, the other is the case interview, and the third is your personal experiences. So once you like cover all these bases and like make it consistent, it's it yeah, it makes things about a bit easier to flow.
So, how did your masters from an Ivy League school help you with your target? Like, again, your target being
Oh, it
McKinsey and
definitely did
Company.
help a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely did help a lot because so how these consulting firms work is they have core schools, right? Like target schools.
Hmm.
So being from a really good school, like you're automatically in the target zone. That doesn't mean that everyone from that school gets interviewed. Like no,
Right.
like there are a lot of my friends who didn't end up getting interviews and didn't end up getting offers.
Hmm.
But definitely there will be someone who at least takes a look at your resume rather than a robot taking a look at your resume. So I think
Makes
that makes
sense.
a huge difference. Also being from a school which is very consulting heavy and like has great alumni everywhere, you have access to those alumni,
True.
and not every time they respond, but out of 10 people one person will respond, so you need like only one person to help you out and then you're good to go. So like that
Right.
has a higher probability of happening. So at Penn there were like around, there were so many people who worked at consulting firms, it wasn't difficult for me to find someone to help me out, to be honest. So that was a huge asset.
Got it. Got it.
Second thing, again from a very career driven school. They have a lot of these resources about case interviews. If you want to go into investment banking, they have resources on how to do financial modeling and stuff like that. All of this is available at career services.
Hmm.
Career services is great. They have like mock interviews for you. So I think the infrastructure kind of is so good that they prep you for success. And
Right.
then it's up to you how much hard work you want to put in. And obviously, there's a little bit of luck also involved with that.
Of course, makes sense. So again, like how it usually happens, you have to be behind someone so that you come into that spotlight of that particular person. So was it for like the
Hmm.
same for you, that you had to constantly be behind this a particular person, so that that person recognizes you already and can recommend you further or something of that sort?
No, not really, because I'll tell you something. Whoever I spoke to, they probably decided in that half an hour call if they wanted to recommend me or not. Like
Oh,
they
oh,
kind of
okay.
like get a fit of who you are. So for
Hmm.
McKinsey, the person who sent me a referral, also like a statement out there, like don't get any ideas that a referral will get you a job. It doesn't. A referral will just get you an interview. Like everyone I know who had a referral didn't always get a job. So a
Okay.
referral is like a way to help you. Also, there have been times where I got a referral and I still didn't get an interview. So
Right,
it's
right.
kind of like a safety measure, like an added step you take, but it doesn't necessarily guarantee anything.
Understood,
Yeah.
understood. Got it. Yeah. And
So,
okay, continue,
uh,
continue.
yeah, no, no. So basically, like the person who referred me from McKinsey, she was really sweet. She helped me out a lot. And she said that I can also put in a referral for you. So that was
Hmm.
really nice of her. I didn't have to ask them. It's a little awkward to ask. So that was awesome. Like it worked out
Yeah,
for me.
true, true.
But there have been times where I've also had to ask and, just be like, hey, do you know, like, if there's any way for me to get my foot in the door, or like, is there any way you can like pass on my resume to the recruiting
Right,
team?
right.
And then it's either up to them to say yes or no.
Right. And I think so when you mention this particular statement, automatically when your resume is there, a person is, kind of sure that TK if at all we, you know, tell this person that, we will send across your referral. So there is this particular thinking that they also have in their mind that yeah, she deserves to be somewhere. And then again, it is you guys interview, like whenever you give your
Yeah.
interviews, you all have to crack it up then.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's true. That's true. And then again, so there are many people who are wanting to go to abroad for their education, and some having the same background as you, like University of Mumbai, maybe the same field as what you want to. So, what would you recommend to them? And if at all they want to go to overseas, and if at all they want to get into consulting and at McKinsey,
Yeah,
so the
for sure.
journey
So my
basically.
experience at Jai Hind was like I really had to go out of my way to build my profile because people in science, like unfortunately, are not very into extracurriculars. I was the only one who was part of the cultural committee in my
Okay.
class. So I think really get out there, get new experiences, even if your department's not as supportive because attendance was so strict for us. So it did get difficult in the end, but
Right.
definitely get out there, focus a little bit more on like personal development. One thing I really wish I did, which was like literally right outside Jai Hind, was learn French or like learn any kind of language.
Right.
I think
Right.
there's Francis Alliance right at Church Gates. I could have easily done that. It wasn't a
Got
huge
it.
thing. Like definitely like either pick up a new skill, learn a new language, like develop your profile as a whole. So when they see you, they don't think that okay, she's only in research, she's only in science. They see that you like to do other things for fun, and
Right.
like a
Right.
well-rounded person.
Understood. And so this is more based on McKinsey and all. So how has your overall experience been in the US? Like, how have you felt? The
I really
the
like it so
culture
far.
and everything.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't catch that.
The culture and everything. The people,
Oh,
the
the culture and
culture
everything.
and all. Yeah.
Yeah, I think campus culture was great because you're always are surrounded by students, but in like big cities, it's a little bit daunting because like everyone's so involved in their own lives. It's
Yeah.
not like
Yeah.
India
That's
here.
true.
So I think like there's ups and downs to everything, but I really enjoy being over here. It's pretty liberating to be that independent and being
Yeah.
responsible for yourself. What else? Yeah, I mean, I can't think of one word to describe my experience. I can talk about different aspects of my experience,
True.
but it definitely opens your eyes to how things actually work, how to make new friends in a new city that you've never been in ever before.
Yeah.
Like forces you to step outside your comfort zone, which is like nice. in a
Right,
way.
right. Of course, and ups and downs do take place, be it whether you are in India
Yeah,
or overseas for that matter.
yeah,
Yeah. And
yeah, exactly.
what are those qualities that you think that you have embedded, basically, when I say this, like from Mumbai University to UPenn and now McKinsey. So of course, even it's been a great journey for you, and up till now it's just upwards, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be upwards further also. So what are the qualities that that, yeah, I have improved in these fields for sure?
Yeah, I think number one would be rolling with the punches. So if something bad happens, like it happens, but you need to, and I'm still like trying to learn this, but you need to like compartmentalize it. So I'll give you an example. So the day I was talking to someone from McKinsey was the day I also got rejected from BCG. And
Oh
BCG,
my
I had a
god.
referral at
Yeah,
BCG.
yeah, yeah,
So like
yeah,
for
yeah,
me,
yeah.
it was so bad. And then like in 15 minutes after getting that email or something, like that same day I had to like forget about it and like be like super cheery and stuff. So I guess just compartmentalize. Something bad happens, okay, it happens. I'm not going to say it's going to be easy to digest it, but you can't let go or you can't mess up another opportunity because of something that already happened. So I'm still learning that. I'm still like trying
Yeah,
to
of
get
course,
better
of
at
course.
compartmentalizing and stuff. But I think definitely, like I was surprised at myself that I ended up doing something like that. Then if you get rejected from an internship, so a similar thing happened. I got rejected from an internship that was kind of dragging along the decision for like a month and a half. They didn't like let me
Okay.
know,
Oh
which
my
is a
god.
which is a very, very normal thing in the US, because a lot of places when I ended up getting the offer, they let me know the same day or the next day of the interview. So a
Oh,
month and a half is like a
too much of
huge
waiting. Too much of
thing.
waiting for sure. Yeah.
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 Yeah, and I knew that my performance was like borderline okay, so it made it worse. So I got rejected from an internship, and the next day I had a final round for another internship. So definitely like learn
Yeah.
how to like keep your head free. What else? Always try to like be a bit more people person. Don't ever say no to a conversation. Don't know what happens when. You don't know
Right.
who is good at what. So don't be nice to people. Be very open for conversations.
Yeah.
Another thing is that if you make a mistake, like own up to it. It's people here don't typically hold grudges that much, but still, it's like nice
Okay.
to
But that's good.
um
That's good for
own
sure.
your shortcomings and acknowledge that, and then actively try to work on it. So I think these are a few things that I like did now that I didn't really do it. Like it's not that I wasn't nice to people in India, but you would talk to only like a few people, right? Over here, you have to be like
Right.
very open-minded and talk to everybody.
Right. Right. That's true. That's true. And so when you were interviewing for McKinsey and Company, so of course, not what sort of questions did they ask, but then whenever you answered certain questions, like how were the responses? Were the responses very blunt, or was it more of them also talking, more of an interactive thing?
Yeah, it's very conversational. They will ask you questions. Like if you're talking about your experience, they'll ask you questions like, "Oh, how did you feel when this was happening?"
Right. Right.
Or "How did you realize that there was a problem to be solved?" Stuff like that. So they will ask probing questions. It is
Right.
very conversational, and not just for the personal interview, even for the case interview, they will like get involved. You have to ask them that, "Oh, do you think this approach is okay?" Like it's a joint effort, but they are judging on
Understood.
how you make it a joint effort.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah.
Understood. Yeah, I think so. That's pretty much it. We
No
are
one will be
done.
mean. So don't be worried if like don't get worried if you think that your interviews are gonna be mean. They're not
No,
gonna be
so
mean.
by mean, what I meant to say was, because we all know how huge McKinsey a company is. So
Yeah.
probably there is this conditioning in one person's mind that, oh my god, this is such a huge company we are interviewing for, and if at all we goof up in the very first question or something, they might just be a little, oh my god, you have messed it
No,
up
they
a
will
little or
they
something
really
like that.
helpful. One of my interviews was so encouraging about it, so it kind of added to everyone's really helpful. So I
Okay.
think for my final round, so my final round had three interviews in it. So in my
Hmm.
first interview, I think he could tell that I was a little nervous. So like he didn't do the case first. He just like had a conversation first. So
Oh,
they
okay,
are
got
there to
it.
help you,
Right,
and
right,
also realize that it's a place where the interview is also an opportunity for you to decide if this place is right for you.
right.
Just because it's such a big company doesn't mean it's right for everyone. You could be happy at a smaller boutique company which has a more like closer
Yeah,
feel
that's
to it.
that's true.
So it's a two-way street, and no one's out there to like make you feel bad about mistakes. I made a mistake in my final round, and like I think they're okay with it as long as you catch it and like don't repeat it again, then they're
Right,
fine.
right.
But but yeah, they were pretty helpful. They like really helped me ease into the interview process. Even my first round interviews were very nice. They start off with a small conversation just to like cut the air. So
Right.
it definitely helped a lot.
That's great. That's good. And I think so. The point that you mentioned about owning it up. So probably if they were aware that you've made a mistake somewhere, they even
Yeah.
knew that yeah, you are aware of your mistake and you're ready to work on it then later.
Yeah, exactly,
So
exactly.
that's true. That's true. Yeah, I think so. That's pretty much it. I hope I've covered all the fields and I hope
Yeah.
you have spoken of everything possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great connecting with you today.
Of course. Thank you so much
Yeah,
for
thank you so
having me
much.
here.
Thank you so much. I hope you have a great time in the US.
Thank you so much, and good luck
Yes.
with your future endeavors. And if anyone has any questions, they can reach out to me on email. My student email ID will be deactivated in like 2 months, so I'm just gonna shoot my personal email ID on
Yes.
the chat, so you can just whoever wants to talk can always reach out to me. I'm happy to help.
Got it. Yeah, this was very inspiring for me as well because me being in my TY, of course, I also
Yeah,
have certain dreams and I do want to
yeah, yeah,
get
yeah. Of
somewhere for
course.
sure.
Yeah,
So,
for sure, for
yeah,
sure. Yeah, I mean it's a journey. Like, don't expect things to happen overnight, but
true,
just
of course.
work at it, and I'm pretty sure things will happen.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
No worries. Absolutely. I love being here and talking to you. So thank you for having me here.
Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you. See you. Bye.
Bye.